All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are now going to talk about the future of Mike Williams and Michael Thomas. So both guys were released. Mike Williams was released by the Chargers. Michael Thomas was released by the Saints. And Michael Thomas, I mean, you go back. So I want to pull up their career stats. So, I, again, haven't really used a graphic lately, but we're going to do that today. So let me just make sure I have the right one up. Nope, that's Mike Williams. We want Michael Thomas. There we go. So Michael Thomas, again, this is his Pro Football Reference page. I mean, you go back to 2018 and 2019. I mean, phenomenal seasons. Led the NFL in receptions both of those years. And you got to remember, 2019, Drew Brees got hurt. That was back in they played the Rams earlier in the season, and that was when Drew Brees hit his hand on I think on Aaron Donald's helmet, and that led to a thumb injury, and he was out. So Teddy Bridgewater stepped in, but that didn't affect Michael Thomas. He still he still kept playing he was playing really well regardless of who was playing quarterback at the time. Finished both seasons with 9 touchdowns. I mean, look at the receiving yards: 1,400 yards receiving, 1,700 yards receiving. In 2019. And even look at 2016 and 2017. 9 touchdowns in 2016, 5 in 2017. I mean, he was great, those first 4 years. But then 2020 was plagued by injuries, did not play a single game in 2021. Played in 13. Played in 10 games in 20. I was looking at his number. Played in 10 games in 2023, but he only played in 3 in 2022, and he actually did get off to a good start in 2022. But again, got hurt, and that's been his problem is injuries. So I don't really know if he's. I mean, I think another team may pick him up, but the Michael Thomas that we saw back in 2016, 17, 18, 19. That he's no longer that player, unfortunately. And that, again, he made a couple of plays, the last 2 seasons, but again, injuries affected him. You could see the talent's still there. It's just keeps getting hurt. So, and then I wanted to pull up. I also have Mike Williams stats up, so I just want to pull them up as well. So yeah, Mike Williams again. He's another receiver. Again, a little. I mean, not that much younger than Michael Thomas, but unfortunately, actually he got off to a good start, but he ended up unfortunately tearing his ACL. The Chargers definitely missed him after he got hurt, but they ended up releasing him. 2019 was a good season for him. He had 1,000 yards, 1,001 yards. 2 touchdowns. The season before that, he had 10 touchdowns in 2018. And this is back with Phillip Rivers and with Justin Herbert. 2021 had 1,100 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, and that was in 16 games. And then in 2022, he missed a couple of games, but he had 895 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. And yeah, again, looked like he was going to have a good season, but in 2023. But again, unfortunately, tore his ACL. But also, actually, let's not forget the final game of the regular season. He ended up getting hurt against the Broncos. Brandon Staley left him in, and then and then he ended up missing the playoff game against the Jaguars. So that was not a good move by Brandon Staley. But yeah, I mean that's that was one of Justin Herbert's main weapons, and now he's going to be looking for a new team, and we'll see where he ends up. So with Mike Williams, so he was due to count $32.46 million against the cap in 2024. This was in the final year of his 3-year deal, 3-year, $60 million contract signed in 2022. This saves the Chargers $20 million on the salary cap. Again, the Chargers have, their cap situation is a mess. I think they are going to keep Khalil Mack because I know, there's Keenan Allen, there's Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, a lot of the big names that, could be could be finding new homes, but it seems like they're going to stick with Khalil Mack, and they're probably. I think they're going to stick with Keenan Allen. I mean, again, if you get rid of Keenan Allen, I mean those are all Justin Herbert's weapons. I mean, Austin Eckler's no longer there now. You release Mike Williams, so I think Keenan Allen's probably safe because I mean you got to keep some guys. So I think they'll figure it out. But at least Mike Williams, he's going to be finding a new home. Yeah. So and you see it here on the Pro Football Reference page. He played a full season only once in 7 years with the Chargers. He led the NFL with 15.8 yards per reception since 2018. So we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, yeah. I guess he's going to get like a short-term deal. But listen, whoever gets him, if he, stays healthy, you're getting a good wide receiver. And the same thing, I mean, Michael Thomas, again, he's dealt with again, they've both been injured. But Michael Thomas missed a full season. I mean, Mike Williams basically missed a full one in 2023. He played in 3 games, but these guys are probably going to be looking for short-term contracts. But yeah, so with Michael Thomas now, he's designated as a post June 1st release, saving $1.2 million against the cap. Yeah, he finished the season on injured reserve with a knee injury. Yeah, it just again, he was one of the best receivers in the NFL, but again, injuries really just caught up to him. So again, it's going to be interesting to see, what teams are interested, because I think they will generate some interest. If a team is really desperate for a wide receiver, I think Mike Williams is going to generate more interest, but again, only time will tell. With these guys, I don't know what you guys may think. Teams that could possibly, go after these two. I mean, again, Mike Williams, I could see him going to the Chiefs. I mean, why not? Why not? The Chiefs need a receiver. He's a big wide receiver. Stays in the division. I feel like that makes sense, right? Maybe the Bills as well. The Bills could maybe use another receiver after Gabe Davis left. Maybe if they could get one of these guys for cheap, if they end up losing Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, if they end up trading T. Higgins, maybe they go that route. Because Tyler Boyd is still unsigned at this very moment. I want to just double check. Actually, one thing that I did fail to mention, I did see this when I checked Instagram. So the Lions extended Dan Campbell. I don't know what the specifics are, but I just see the NFL Instagram posted that the Lions are extending him. So I'm really happy for that. Big Dan Campbell guy, in case you didn't know that. Really just, again, all goes back to his press conference, of course. So I was happy to see that. But back to what I was saying before. So yeah, the Bengals, they got to pay Jamar Chase, and they might end up losing T. Higgins if they have to trade him, and Tyler Boyd. But I don't think. Let me see. I don't think Tyler Boyd wasn't signed yet. Yeah, he's still a free agent. Oh, so this was 17 hours ago. Again, I don't know how legit this is, but the Steelers and wide receiver Tyler Boyd have mutual interest and have had a dialogue about him returning to his hometown. Okay. Biggest hurdle in Tyler Boyd is to Steelers conversation are the Chiefs and dark horse being the Jets. Now again, this is from Mark Caboli. Again, that's just speculation. But no, I see Steelers, Chiefs, Jets. Oh, okay. All right, so, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think wherever Tyler Boyd ends up, I mean, if he goes to the Chiefs, that would be a good spot for him. I mean, the Steelers, we got to see now because they traded Deontay Johnson. They let go of Allen Robinson. So, yeah, the wide receiver room's kind of a little thin. Now, you expect them to kind of address this, in the draft because the Steelers do love to draft wide receivers. So I feel like you're going to see them draft a receiver. Again, the Chiefs, that could be a team that, maybe pick some of these guys up. I mean, depends on how much they want. Mike Williams, again, I think you could get him, for cheap, especially because he's coming off of an injury. But I don't know who would be interested in Michael Thomas. Again, I mean, both guys are coming off of injuries, but again, I just for me, I just feel like Mike Williams is going to generate more interest. Let's see. Um, let's see if there's any rumors out there. Let's see. I see an article that says potential landing spots include Broncos and. Oh yeah, that's true. The Broncos with Sean Payton. Yeah, yeah, I did see that. I did see people saying that on social media. I could see it. I could definitely see that. The Giants. I mean, listen. The Giants wide receiver room, the way it is. I mean, again, I'd be okay with it. But even though, like, who knows how much he's gonna play, but but I could definitely see the Broncos. But the Broncos they got to figure out their quarterback situation. They're not going to go into next year with Jared Stidham as their quarterback. So, and I mean, we've seen Sean Payton bring in some of his guys. I mean, Adam Troutman and Lil Jordan Humphrey. So, yeah, I could see Michael Thomas, making his way to the Mile High City. So, we'll keep an eye on it. Um, but again, these are guys coming off of injuries, and that's the one downside. You know, and like I said, Michael Thomas. I mean, he made plays, the last couple of seasons, but again, injuries hurt him. And if injuries didn't derail his career, like what would happen? I mean, this really all started, you know, Drew Brees' last season. Because he was injured pretty much the whole year. Then he came back for the playoffs, but really wasn't a factor. Then he missed all of 2021. Then he came back for a couple games in the beginning of the year, was hurt, and then he got hurt again in 2023. So and I mean again was putting up impressive numbers with Drew Brees, and then again injuries unfortunately have derailed his career. So again, we'll see where he can end up. Again, the Broncos, that definitely is a possibility just because, again, Sean Payton's there, Mike Williams, we'll see. We'll see. So let me know what you guys think. Who would be a good fit for both of these guys? Do you think they're going to generate interest? I mean, I think they are, but who do you think would be a good fit for both of the Michaels here? So we're going to take our final break of the show. When we come back, I do want to talk about the Tennessee Titans. One move that they made I want to talk about, and that's, of course, Calvin Ridley signing with them. So I kind of wanted to get into all of their signings that they've made and where, they kind of fit in the AFC South. So that is what we are going to do when we come back from our final break of the show. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.